I'm so sorry about that malfunction. I don't know what went on, but apparently Facebook decided to update on my phone right as soon as I went live. So sorry about that. Anyways, like I was saying, it's Friday night. I'm making dinner. I have a free Forks Over Knives book for anyone who is willing to like and comment and share on any of my videos. I would love to be able to give somebody the opportunity to do this diet. This is how much I believe in this diet. Is I'm willing to give out the free Forks Over Knives plan to anyone who's willing to do this with me. Thank you so much for joining me. Hi, Mom. How's it going? Okay, so today we are doing a beef stroganoff. Technically, it's a mushroom stroganoff, though. Okay, but we're going to make it taste about as beefy as we possibly can. So I've got my pan on a medium-high heat, and I'm just going to add these here onions to it. And again, this is a Forks Over Knives approved pan. Sorry, meal. Forks Over Knives meal, which means that we're doing no oil whatsoever. I have some beautiful portobello mushrooms here. They're the baby bella kind. And I'm not using the stems. I'll show you what I do with them. Instead of throwing them out, because I don't really like having to sit there and cut them up and everything like that, and I really don't like having to, I hate wasting things, especially whenever you're doing this diet. I hate wasting things. So I take the stem of the mushroom and I put it in my little freezer bag, and that becomes my free veggie broth later on in the week. I'll show you how I do that tomorrow. It's very easy to do. But you want the mushrooms in your veggie broth because it gives it that nice dark flavor that you're looking for. That very round, beefy texture to any dish as well. But I like the taste of them in my veggie broth. So, there we go. I've got my starter for my veggie broth. I've already got a whole bag in here from this past week. I cannot stuff any more in this bag. This is my veggie broth for the week. This right here. I've got ends of carrots. I've got broccoli in there. I've got kale stems. I've got onions and celery. Obviously mushrooms, the ends of the mushrooms. All go in there. Makes it so easy. And what I do to give myself, a little bit of room here, while I'm slicing up the mushrooms, I put them in the little container that they came in. That way I'm not dirtying another bowl. Alright, so we're going to make sure that they're face down. Face down mushrooms. We want to curl our fingers. And we just want to slice all the way through. Kind of doing a crab walk with your fingers on the way back. And again, I'm just going to stick them in the package that they came in. Whoops! Mushroom overboard. I love me some beef stroganoff. It's actually one of my guilty pleasures. And when I found out that you could do it with mushrooms, which there is mushrooms in it anyways, but we're going to make them taste like beef. And again, we're just doing our curled fingers, making sure we're not cutting ourselves or anything like that. You want to make sure you cut right here. This is what they call the sweet spot of the knife. That means that it's going to be the sharpest part of the knife right there. Always look for the sweet spot. Just like that. And real quick, let me take a drink of wine. I'm going to show you how to make a cashew sour cream for this base, okay? So usually in a beef stroganoff, you have a cashew sauce, or sorry, not cashew, a sour cream sauce. And obviously that has milk in it, which we're trying to stay away from. So I'm going to show you my little tidbit of a secret, which by the way, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but even before we did this diet, I had to stay away from sour cream and yogurt and things like that because I would get like this really weird fuzzy feeling in the back of my throat, and it kind of would start closing up on me and stuff like that. It was, you know, I was a little bit allergic to it, so I had to be careful about what kind of dairy I was eating and drinking and all that other stuff. Mainly just the hard cheeses that I could eat, and then I could drink milk, but that was pretty much it. I couldn't really do anything else. So before this diet, I was so lacking in that because I love cheesecake, right? I love cheesecake. It's like my favorite go-to thing. That's also another guilty pleasure of mine. Then I found out that I could do a cheesecake with cashews. And so I was like, well, if I can do a cheesecake with cashews, why can't I do a sour cream with cashews? So when I was doing the Forks Over Knives thing, this is actually their recipe. In the Forks Over Knives book, the cashew sour cream came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, yay, sour cream, I can have sour cream. And I tried it, and dude, it's legit. It literally is. So, get yourself a little blender. I like the NutriBullet. You can do whatever you want. Whatever blender you have is fine. Alright? I'm just going to watch these onions, make sure they're not, you know, burning on me or anything. But you want a good caramelization on these onions right here. You want them nice and brown. As Chef Amberell says on the Food Network, brown food tastes good. Sticking with that. Alright, so we're going to do about a cup of cashews. Soaked overnight, but if you're like me and you can't wait overnight because you're cooking dinner right now, you can boil them on the stove for about 30 minutes and it pretty much gives you the same texture. So I took a cup and a half of cashews, unsalted, not roasted, plain cashews, alright? And I boiled them on the stove for a little bit. You can do the same with beans, by the way, if you want beans. And we're just going to stick it in there just like that. Make sure you rinse and drain them. And we're going to add a cup of fresh water. We've got 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. We have a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And about a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt. You can use whatever salt you want, that's just the one that I use. And that's it. There is your cashew sour cream base. Just like that, you have sour cream. And it'll stay in the fridge for at least 2 weeks. It's absolutely amazing. Let's give it a taste. Oh my gosh. You would not believe how creamy it is. And you would not believe how much it actually does taste like sour cream. Alright. Anyways, we're using the whole thing tonight because we want a really good base for our stroganoff. Alright, so our onions look nice and brown. Again, there's no oil in the bottom of this pan, but that's why I like the Tasty Cookware, because you don't need it. It slides around beautifully. You see that? Gorgeous. Alright, so we're going to add in our mushrooms. Again, I've got 2 things of Baby Bella mushrooms. And the only reason why I do those is because there's a little more flavor in the Baby Bella than there is in regular mushrooms. But if you want to use regular mushrooms, you can do that too. Whatever floats your boat. Alright, so I have some canned veggie broth. Because I'm like that. Miss Marvel. Feeling my Miss Marvel today. And we're going to deglaze the pan. And all that beautiful broth is fixing to get all nice and soaked up with those mushrooms and the onions. It's so good. The reason why I haven't added garlic yet is because I don't want it to burn, and the mushrooms do have to decrease about half their size. And if you put the garlic in too soon, it can burn. Oh, those look so good. So good. Just gorgeous. Alright, so we've got our cashew base. And we have our wine, because wine is, you know, for cooking and drinking. I have some vegan Worcestershire sauce. And we're just going to douse those mushrooms in it. I'd say about 2 tablespoons. And yes, Worcestershire sauce is not vegan. Did not know that the first time I used it. I had to look on the back and I was like, oh crap. There's fish in it. Who knew? Who knew, right? So we've got some Worcestershire sauce in there, a little bit of veggie broth. Our onions are nice and caramelized. Mushrooms are decreasing. Tidbit, liquid smoke. If you know me, and anytime I use mushrooms, I'm going to be using liquid smoke because it gives it that nice little bit of beefy flavor that you're looking for. But you don't want too much because it can overpower the dish. So, teaspoon, maybe less than that, give or take. You don't want to overpower it, but it does start smelling right away. You're like, oh my gosh, this smells so good. Hi, baby. Avonlea.
I need a drink.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, come here. Here's some water. All right, so another little bit of a tidbit. Marsala wine goes amazing with mushrooms. Amazing with mushrooms. I know you can do like a white wine. You can do a white wine, you can do a red wine, you can do whatever wine you want. But for this little tidbit, I've used several different wines actually in the past, and the Marsala wine is probably the best. So we're going to do about half a cup of Marsala wine. And it just gives those mushrooms that real sweet flavor that you're looking for. And we're going to let this start reducing down to about half. And over here, Heavenly, go play. Go play. Over here, I have some brown rice. By the way, I bought this at Costco about 6 months ago, back in February. It's not even, it's just now like down to here. That's how long it's lasted us. And that, my friend, is why I love bulk shopping. Buying in bulk. Go outside with Daddy, honey.
No.
We're going to do about a tablespoon of garlic. And like I said, I waited to do the garlic until now because I don't want my garlic to burn or anything like that. And I want it to really seep into those mushrooms. Those nice, beautiful mushrooms. I have some roasted veggies in the oven. And I'll show you those in a little bit. Right here, we're going to salt and pepper. Again, I use the pink Himalayan sea salt just because there's more minerals and vitamins in it. But you can use whatever salt you want. I like a lot of pepper. Pepper's awesome. And as you can tell, those mushrooms, I'll show you, are reducing down very nicely. gorgeous little mushrooms. Alright. So, we've got our liquid smoke in there. We've got our salt and pepper. I need some oregano. And some parsley. Parsley and oregano. If you have fresh, definitely use fresh. But if you don't, dried's just fine. Just make sure that you add it after you've added any kind of liquid to your dish, because you want to make sure that it kind of rehydrates. And you want it to cook together with your liquids. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Just gorgeous. And that is one beautiful, beautiful thing of mushrooms. I'm going to show you my veggies right now. These are zucchini and yellow squash, and all I did was I chopped them up and I sprinkled it with a little bit of EVOO, and I put salt and pepper on it, of course, and then I did a little bit of nutritional yeast and my homemade breadcrumbs that I do, and I just sprinkled the breadcrumbs all over, because sometimes you see those videos all the time with Parmesan cheese on top of veggies and everybody's like, oh, that looks so good. Well, we're trying to keep this vegan, so nutritional yeast with your breadcrumbs turns out just as good, and they're super yummy and super healthy, super awesome. I'm going to get this out of my way though, but I wanted to show you that real quick. Alright. Mushrooms look great. We're going to go ahead and add our cashew cream sauce that we just made. And again, super easy. 1 cup to 1.5 cups of cashews. If you don't have time to let it sit overnight, boil it on the stove for 30 minutes and you're good to go. Look at that sauce. So good. Oh my gosh. If they could only invent smell-o-vision. That smell is intoxicating. There's no need to add any flour to this, by the way, because the cashews are going to give it all the base that you need. So this is a gluten-free way to do a stroganoff. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty too. It looks just like a stroganoff. Yum. Alright, I'm going to get my bowl of brown rice real quick. I don't know why, but I love these so much because they're so big and you can like just put a bunch of like super awesome veggies in there and just stuff it full, and it's like, it's perfect size. And there's no need for like plates or anything like that. Those of you who know me know that I'm all about my right done. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Alright, let me grab some brown rice real quick. Alright, so we've got ourselves a nice little bed of brown rice. We're going to go ahead and turn this off because it is done. Dinner is served, guys. It was just that quick and just that easy for a beautiful meatless Friday right here. And you can use pasta if you want. You can use the noodles that usually go with a beef stroganoff, but I'm using rice just because it gives it a little more health brown rice tastes good. We're going to dish that out right on top of there. Gorgeous. And we're going to take our veggies that are sitting over here. And we're going to plop those on top or on the side, whichever. Let's go on the side. Just because I can. Beautiful, gorgeous. Gorgeous plate of veggies. Full of protein. Brown rice has protein. Mushrooms have protein. Zucchini has protein. Everything has protein. Look how pretty that is. Y'all don't want to miss out on this. Alright. I'm going to give it one taste because I can't wait. I have to try this. Oh, good Lord in heaven. That is really hot. It's so flavorful. Try it with masala wine because let me tell you, that is the real kicker. That is the true ingredient that makes it an absolutely wonderful sauce. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. I'm going to go eat with my family out there because we're going outside to eat.